This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition, a historic edition of the Locked On Angels POSTCAST, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what is going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and it feels a whole lot better to say that on today, Saturday, September 20th, 2025, as our legend, our hero, our GOAT, Mike Trout. I have to say finally, because it took a while, but he finally hits career home run number 400. A truly special night for Mike Trout, for all of us who, obviously this is his milestone, this is his moment, but man, this fan base has had so much suffering, and the only bright spot consistently over the past decade, and unfortunately, even consistent is an exaggeration given the injuries, given the lack of winning during this time, but the most consistent thing for the Angels, the most consistent positive, has been and will always be Mike Trout, and he got it done here. Home run number 400. He did it in such a special way. Truly a perfect night, because the home run was majestic. It came in a win, and you could feel the energy, the team rally around that home run and make sure they won the ball game. Obviously, other positives in this game as well, outside of Mike Trout, outside of the win. A couple other big swings from the Halos, but Mike Trout, this night's about him. It took a while this season to get to this point, and there's going to be times in the show, and you're going to hear it all around the MLB world of, man, can't believe it took him this long to get to 400, right? There's going to be people who say, what could have been? Mike Trout should be at 500 by now, right? This is a guy who easily could be at that, right? And it is true that all of those things are true. There's going to be the people that say 400 useless home runs. There's going to be cool, whatever. But tonight, with all the pain, all the suffering we've gone through, especially in recent weeks, if you think I'm going to waste any time on this show other than the 20 seconds I just did talking about the negative aspects of the 400 home runs, like, come on, we're not doing that tonight. This is a heck of a night for Mike Trout and a heck of a night for our Angels. We're going to start by saying shout out to everybody in here live. It is a late Saturday night. It is still a team that is 70-85. But man, oh man, what a night it is. And shout out to everybody in here. Let's not waste any time.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
The player of the game, of course, is Mike Trout, and the player of the franchise is, of course, Mike Trout. But let's get to the swing, right? There was 2 other home runs in this ball game. We will get to those in a second. But for Mike Trout, every single aspect of this home run at bat was so Mike Trout, so vintage Mike Trout, and that's exactly what you could have asked for. I don't care if it came a little bit later than we would like. He hit home run number 400 in such a Mike Trout way. First and foremost, for him to go up 3-1 when all year, he has been patient, to say the least. He has, despite not having the highest average, despite not having many extra base hits, really not that many hits, right? Mike Trout has still had a decent season. The OPS is still 772. The on-base percentage is still a respectable, as I'm trying to pull it up, a respectable 358. How? Why? Well, because the guy's had great at-bats. He's taken a bunch of walks. He has, been kind of a leadoff hitter at times in terms of his ability to work counts and help out his teammates by, wasting pitches and letting the guys in the dugout see what the pitcher is throwing, right? Things like that. He also still, and nights like this help, he still has that aura around him where pitchers are afraid of Mike Trout, even if he's hitting 229. And so for Mike Trout to go up 3-1 in this at-bat was very fitting, right? And then for him to crush a 98-mile-an-hour sinker, fitting. But for him to crush it the way he did, 485 feet. I don't care if it's Coors Field. I don't care if there is the elevation. I don't care if the ball floats. Man, oh man. There's not many people in the history of baseball that can hit a home run 485 feet, whether it's Coors Field or anywhere else. The Angels hit 3 home runs tonight. One of them went 410. One of them went 409. And Mike Trout hit his 485. He hit it 115 off the bat. And the other really special part of this home run, Matt Vasgersian on the call. It was just perfect, right? We know Matty V does not call many games as many games now. For Matt Vasgersian to be on the call as Mike Trout hits number 400, 115 off the bat, 485 feet into the Colorado night sky to cap off a solid win for the Angels. Man, if a guy's going to hit home run number 400 in a season where the team is 15 games below 500, in a season where he's struggling with injuries, where he's struggling with his swing, man, you can't ask for a more ideal 400th home run given those circumstances. So extremely happy for Mike Trout. The reception was great. It's kind of nice that you're playing the Rockies, who you obviously don't have much beef with or anything. You're not playing against the Astros. You're not playing against the Rangers, and you don't know what the reception would be like in an opposing stadium. There was a decent amount of red in there as well, because we know how easy it is to get a Rockies ticket. It's still a beautiful Saturday night at a beautiful baseball park, and it was great to see the genuine joy on his face, to see him getting hugs from Moncada and obviously everybody. It was awesome. It truly was. I'm bummed that you can obviously tell by now I'm not in my normal setup. I'm at someone else's house tonight, and I'm really bummed that I don't have my Mike Trout jersey with me. If there's ever a night to want to be wearing your Mike Trout jersey on the show and my Angels hat, it's tonight. So I'm bummed I can't sport it, but man, oh man, so excited for Mike freaking Trout to finally get that monkey off his back, right? That pressure off of his shoulders. And I'm excited to see what Mike Trout will do in 2026. Now that the 400 is out of there, now that, the questions about DH and right field, man, just have a healthy Mike Trout hit. I think we can get a better, a better season for Mike Trout. I truly can. I hope that now that this milestone is behind him, now that the RBI milestone is behind him, he can focus on having a better season overall. But what a moment. I love seeing how excited everybody is in here. Brian says, as much as I bash this team, congratulations to Trout on 400. What an amazing feat. Mark T says, if he were anyone not named Trout, he'd be a hero. Well, exactly. I mean, I get what you're saying. You're saying with the perception that he has, but he still is a hero. Boom is right. Desmond says, I can't freaking believe it. Trout is the greatest Halo of all time. Absolutely. I love it. Mark T also says, kid gets 400. Mahoko says, congrats for 400, Mike. Yes, that's true. I wonder how much that ball, what the trade will be for that. But super excited for him. Mark T also adds, who cares what people say? It takes away from what he's done. Not, he could have, should have, would have. Mike's a class act and deserves 1,000% credit for remaining true to the Halos. It's exactly true. And it's very ironic. It comes one day removed from what we saw at Dodger Stadium last night. And as much as I hate those Dodgers, and we all do, you can't lie. To see Clayton Kershaw, have his last start, at least in the regular season at Dodger Stadium, the reception he got, the performance that he had, which was pretty solid, in a game that mattered for both teams. And just knowing that despite as much as you hate the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw is as class act as they come, right? He's as respected a player and man in MLB as there is. And for him to be a guy who did it his whole career with the Dodgers deserves a lot of respect, deserves a lot of flowers, deserves all the round of applause. And boy, oh boy, it is the same one day later for Mike Trout. His entire career with this franchise, 1,000 RBIs now plus 400 home runs, all while wearing that same red. And wins, losses, injuries aside, it's a first ballot home or first ballot Hall of Famer, just adding to an already perfect, unreal resume, right? So one more time, Mike Trout, congratulations. And just as an Angels fan, like we all are, when there's so many reasons to be frustrated, from ownership down to the GM, down to the manager, down to the players, down to Mike Trout himself, man, it's so nice to just have a night where we can just take a deep breath, wipe the tears out of our eyes, stand up, give a round of applause to our legend. This is our legend. And it's really exciting to see him hit 400. Randy says, do we think he gets to 500? I have no idea. I certainly would hope so, right? I think he certainly has enough years left in him to get to 500 in terms of what, right? How many home runs was it this season for Mike Trout in very limited game action, right? 437 at-bats, 22 home runs. What's the official amount of games? Let me see that. I'm trying to see the official amount of games. Can we get games played here? Struggling to get games played. Jeez. I am trying. All right, here we go. In 2025, 124 games, which, for him, unfortunately, is actually a lot. After playing just 29 last year, 82 the year before that, 119, 36, 53. It's hard to believe that this is the most games Mike Trout has played in a season since 2019. That's crazy. He had more at-bats in 2022 by, one, and he'll pass that if he even has 2 more at-bats this season. But still, if you say Mike Trout next year, knock on wood, plays 120 games around there, right? I'm not going to say 150 given, who he is. If Mike Trout plays 120 games, it feels like the 22 home runs this season feels closer to the floor than the ceiling, right? He did have that stretch at the beginning of the season where he couldn't stop hitting home runs, but then he's had the stretch since then where he can do anything besides hit home runs. He can walk 4 times in a game. He can strike out 4 times in a game. He can get base hits. He can hit leadoff. He can hit cleanup. The only thing he couldn't do was hit a home run. I think he can get, I think he can get 500. I think he can do it. Absolutely. It might be 4 seasons. Would love for it to just be 3, a little 33 a season type thing, but kind of hard to envision that. Obviously in 2022, he hit 40, right? So he hit 40 in 119 games, 438 at-bats. In 2023, in 308 at-bats, he had 18. So if he gets at least 350 at-bats, you think he's getting at least 20 to 25 home runs. If he can have another season like this where he gets, he'll hopefully have 450 at-bats or so by the end of the season. You give Mike Trout 450 at-bats. He had 438 in 2022 and hit 40 home runs. So I think he can get to 33 a year for the next 3 years and get there. Maybe I'm being super optimistic, but he does seem like a guy who, as his career is moving on, he's becoming less and less of a 5-tool player and more of a home run, strikeout, or walk guy. Obviously, he didn't have the home runs recently, but I could easily see a scenario where Mike Trout, unfortunately, hits 230 again and strikes out a bunch, but he still hits 30 home runs. I certainly could see that. And if he has 3.5 more years in him, he's 34 years old, he can get it. He can get it. And that would, just be a cherry on top to what's already a first ballot Hall of Fame, one of the greatest seasons or careers in MLB, in baseball, in sports history. We're going to take our break. When we get back, let's talk about the rest of this game outside of the history, because the Angels also snapped an 8-game losing streak, which would have been the top headline any other time. A pair of guys that we want to see hit home runs, and one of the best pitching performances of the season. We'll get to all of that after our break on a victory edition and a historic night on the Locked On Angels postcast. Now, on this Friday, today's show is brought to you by Zippix toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. It's available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. Now, look, I'm not a nicotine guy, but I've used the caffeine toothpicks before big meetings, before long drives, before long nights. I've used it before shows. And look, they give me the energy without the jitters. And the flavors like peppermint, watermelon, ice actually taste great. So go to zippixtoothpicks.com. Use code Locked On for 10% off your first order. You must be 21 or older to order. And warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com. Promo code Locked On MLB. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks. Today's show also brought to you by PrizePicks. If you somehow don't know what PrizePicks is, I don't know, where you're living under a rock. Do you even know what sports are? How are you on the Locked On Angels postcast if you don't know what PrizePicks is? Because it is the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I, we make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right means cashing in. With football back, PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. Saquon Barkley, more or less, this week against the Rams. Rushing yards, Devontae Adams more or less receiving, whatever you want. I'm just thinking about that game because I am a Rams fan, nervous for tomorrow. And they have great discounts. Like tomorrow, you can get Patrick Mahomes over 0.5 passing yards. Quite nice there. So download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Finally, today's show brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Look, caffeine, it's great. I rely on it to survive. But one thing about caffeine, it doesn't always taste the best. It's not always the most convenient. But with 5 Hour Energy, it is. Those tasty little shots, a bunch of different flavors. Whether you're craving something fruity, something sweet, something sour, 5 Hour Energy, it is the way to go. Those tasty little caffeine shots. The best part, they're portable, right? It's not having these big, dishes to people who drink coffee, but these big cups of coffee, all that. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. So enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in store and online at www.5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Back here live on the Locked On Angels postcast, a historic Locked On Angels postcast. I need you guys to be real with me. Is the sound still working? I'm getting a notification that it might be struggling, so I need you guys here live to let me know if everything still sounds okay, but certainly looked okay on the field tonight for the Angels. Not only does Mike Trout pick up career home run number 400, but he does so in a win. The Angels win 3-0. Kyle Hendricks, he might just be 8-10 on the season. He might still have a 4.79 ERA, but what an unbelievable start from him tonight. 3 hits, allowed 5 strikeouts, no earned runs in 7 innings. What was going on? Obviously, Mike Trout turned back the clock a little bit, but Kyle Hendricks turned back the clock. 7 innings pitched from Kyle Hendricks. Unbelievable. The best part of all, we've had the occasional amazing start from Hendricks. We've had the occasional amazing bullpen outing, but to have the two combined, well, we never get that. We got that tonight. 7 scoreless for Hendricks, but then Fermin comes in. You know how much he's been struggling. How about a 1-2-3/8 with a strikeout? And then Garcia, he had a very eventful ninth going in for the save, the 2 hits and the walk. They load the bases, but a beautiful double play by Oswald Peraza wraps this one up, and the Angels pick up the 3-0 shutout victory. The other 2 runs coming, well, via the 2 most reliable guys this season outside of Joe Adell and Zach Neto before he got hurt. Nolan Scheinwell, who's just come back playing well, right? He had the great 2-hit performance yesterday in his first game back. How about a solo shot tonight? That made the game 2-0 after Taylor Ward hit a solo shot to make it a 1-0 ball game. Now, yes, the Angels didn't have many hits, just 6 hits tonight. They struck out 9 times, which isn't 12 or 15 like they normally do. Just 9 strikeouts. It's still not great, especially when you only have 6 hits. But still, you will take the 3 solo shots from Scheinwell, Ward, and Trout. Christian Moore had a base hit. You love to see that. Logan O'Hoppe with the rare 0 strikeout game, the rare multi-hit game, 2 for 3, and the walk one of the best performances from Logan O'Hoppe in ages. 2 for 3 with the walk, no strikeouts. You love to see that. And the Angels pick up a feel-good win on Saturday night. Now, looking forward to the rest of the season. Obviously not much to look to, but certainly would be nice to at least pick up a series win in Colorado, right? We know we are going against the now 42 and 113 Colorado Rockies. They're going to probably lose. There's 7 games less. They're probably going to lose at least 5 of them. There's a outside chance they lose 120 baseball games. So you would certainly not want to lose a series to them in the last couple of weeks of the season. 12-10 first pitch, meaning the game is going to end around 2:45. And I do need to have a disclaimer. It's going to be an interesting one tomorrow in terms of if I can do the postcast, just because I will be doing the Rams postcast, the Rams squad show with Big Brock, Michael Brockers, Rams legend, and D-Mac, Doug McCain, LA sports media legend. Huge game for the Rams tomorrow, 10 a.m. against the Eagles, 2-2-0 teams. Game's going to end at around 1:15. It's a 1-hour show till around 2:15, 2:30, right? And that's kind of right around when the Angels game will end. I will do my best to be following the game. I won't be able to watch it super closely, but I'm going to be trying my best to look at it very, very closely while I'm still, live doing the Rams show. But hey, let's have a great day tomorrow. Let's have a Rams win over the Eagles, a great Rams squad show. Let's have an Angels series win, clinching Sunday win over the Rockies, and a nice Angels postcast. It would be a very nice Sunday for me and for you guys tuning in. So fingers crossed, I will let you guys know if I can't do the postcast. I'm certainly hoping I can and anticipating I can, but it will be a little bit stressful. But with all that being said, looking forward to tomorrow, but let's celebrate tonight, man. It's a Saturday night, and our legend just hit home run number 400, the true angel in the outfield, Mike Trout. Have a great rest of your Saturday night, guys. And man, it's not hard to say it tonight. Shout out to Mike Trout, and go Angels. I'll see you tomorrow.